Live with CDP Sports Talk, a weekly sports and entertainment podcast sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet. Live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. And on audio via Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Anchor FM, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Radio Public, and TuneIn. Now, here's your host, Chris Palme.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Season 7, Episode 42, overall 372 of Live with CDP Sports Talk, which is sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership here in Guelph at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall. Check out barrycullen.com for the newest selection of new and pre-owned GM vehicles, or give them a call at 519-824-0210. or email them at info@barrycullen.com. Live with CDP Sports Talk is now on 2 radio stations on WQEE 99.1 FM in Noonan, Georgia, from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern weeknights. And now I'm proud to announce that I'm on CKRT Border City Radio in Windsor's Fridays at 1 p.m. and Sundays with a replay at 2 p.m. as well. And I want to say thank you to station manager Donna Ganza for having me come on her station as well. So who would have thought when I started this 4 years ago, this podcast show, I would be on 2 radio stations, one in Georgia and one in Windsor. And I'm really excited. And I had a show air today with Marcellus Bowman from the Hamilton Tiger Cats. As well, guys, I'm looking forward to my guest tonight. This is their first time on my show, and I'm going to bring them on in a minute. I met them off Tik Tok Live last week. My guests tonight are Priscilla Tor. She is an image consultant guide, and Kerri Kaufmann. She is a Reiki practitioner and out of the GTA. So I'm going to bring them on today, and we're going to talk about mindset, we're going to talk about mindset and positive energy, and I'm excited to have them on my show. Good evening, ladies. How you doing?
Good. You're wonderful. TGIF.
Thank you. Sometimes I have a tongue twister, so I just try to work through it. So I'm still work in progress.
That's okay. Absolutely. We all are.
We all are.
So thank you so much for coming on today. And it was a pleasure meeting you guys last Sunday night on your TikTok Live. And I'm excited to have you on my show tonight to talk to my audience, both the radio stations and also on all these platforms about Reiki, being a Reiki practitioner. And as for you, Priscilla, as being an image consultant guide as well.
Yes. Thank you for having us. We were, I don't know. First of all, it was very interesting how we connected, right? I mean, the energy world brought you to us. And I think our message is when you are in high energy and you're in an energy of searching for light and love, it will come to you. So that day you were tuned into our Sunday Night Live, inspired by good energy. So thank you for that. I mean,
it was really nice to have you on. It's always nice when people engage.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And I joined TikTok maybe 3.5 years ago at the age of 48. And I'm like, this is a bad idea. I'm too old for this and it's not going to work. And you know what? 3.5 years later, I've got almost 2,000 followers, and it's really helped me with my media work, cut promos and for my shows and my media work and meeting a lot of people like yourselves as well. And I've had a number of guests on my show through meeting them on TikTok.
That means you're a special person. Mm-hmm. We gauge that. I mean, when you were contributing to the conversations, I mean, oftentimes when we do these lives, which I guess we'll do a bit of a background on that, me and Kerri got together and we just started doing these TikTok lives about maybe 2 months ago. And we really committed on Sundays because we met in a phenomenal way and we shared so much topics on energy and just breaking old mindsets and things that block your energy that cause cancers. And we just we talked of alternative ways of thought that inhibit growth and also prohibit and, de-accelerate, if that's the word, in healing, right? So we started our Sunday night lives, and sometimes when we're on there, we just said, you know what, these conversations, we're not the only ones who are talking about this. There must be a universal talk regarding this, and we are seeing a lot of awakening happening. People and humans are really now, with the phones now, are connecting even more so and tapping into all the questions we always had curiosity with, right? So this conversations, we started carrying them on the lives. And when you came on, sometimes we get very derogatory, comments on there. I mean, we put ourselves out there to whatever energies, and sometimes if you shake that energy, we get negative comments. So when you contributed to that, it was very heartwarming. We learned from you, you learned from us, and now look at us, we're here today.
One thing I learned about doing live streaming and my show 4 years ago is be yourself. Don't be who you are like you're at a hockey arena or a coffee or a donut shop. Don't try to be somebody that you're not. And what you guys see with me here is what I'm like in real life. And that's why I think I've had a little bit of success with this, and now being on a couple radio stations as well, because I think I have a very good ability to connect with people.
Oh, 100% you do. I just love your energy, and I feel it's very heartwarming, actually. It's very organic, and that's the kind of people we like to be around too.
Mhm.
Well,
So,
thank you so much. Thank you
yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
I'm learning still. We brought this up before on the phone. I'm still learning to try to take compliments, because in my one last chapter of my life, I was in an environment where it was never any positive stuff. It was always negative. And I guess it takes a while once you get out of that environment to start accepting comments and just saying thank you very much, and instead of making the excuse, oh, I'm a work in progress, or I still got a long ways to go.
Yeah, there's one word that I don't like. It's like that practice makes perfect. I don't like that saying. That's why I say practice makes improvements, because we're always going to have up and downs. We're always going to have different encounters, and how we handle it and how we react, it kind of signifies what our inner peace looks like, right? And when you're in that type of environment, you can accumulate a lot of different things in the body. So we have more different senses than face value and emotional. It's our bodies are actually very intelligent. So all this negative stuff and those kinds of environments is not necessarily healthy for the body.
Also, something like Kerri, like iron sharpens iron. Sometimes I will say things like, "Oh, I hope today this," and she's like, "Do not say hope." And it's true. We have these patterns of practice that we say, passed down to conditioning that we say to ourselves, and sometimes we're here today dealing with all these things because these are mindsets that we've carried on just by habit and practice of what's passed down. Interesting enough, I got into a conversation with a gentleman this week, and he's like, "Oh, I might die of diabetes." And I'm thinking, "Why are you saying that?" And he says, "Oh, because it runs in the family." So whoever told him this probably said the same thing years ago. And this is how generational, let's say, curses happen. It's just from verbiage. So you have to change those scripts today. So I said, so you're just repeating that. And then the more you say it, you're emitting it as it's your reality. And now imagine your son hears it. He's going to become, 35, maybe 40, and say, "Oh, well, my dad used to say it." And then he's going to pass it. And you see what I'm saying? So these are the words we have to stop, but these are habits.
So there is actually high communication, and then there is low communication with words. And words are like a frequency in itself too. Because when you say certain words, you feel something, right? But you don't really necessarily pay attention to it. But it actually does mean something, and it actually makes you feel something. So it's kind of connected. It's just like athletes working out, having to prep for sports and whatnot. You're having to focus on a muscle. If you're sitting there watching a TV and you're doing your biceps, because I go to the gym myself too, you're not going to get as effective if you're not focusing on that muscle group, right? So it's amazing how everything can be connected. And so with Reiki, what it can do is alleviate all of these accumulated subconsciously. It could be subconscious that you're accumulating all this stuff. It's not necessarily you. So anything that's not inner peace, it's not you. And the idea is we are constantly evolving as people. And there's always these layers that we need to shed. And sometimes that can be very uncomfortable, but that is the essence of growth and change, and even changing a personality. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
So some of the...
Go ahead. Sorry.
So some of the things that we share on there, we have mantras. And I think mantras are the best thing to sort of change those bad habits and those patterns by saying, like, I mean, positive affirmations now. I mean, Instagram has gone viral with this stuff, you know, inspirational quotes. But these are tools. I really believe in this tool. So before we do our lives, we have quotes that we say. And so one of them that we had shared in the last 3 segments was, train your mind to see the good in everything. Instead of blaming others, take your power back by taking responsibility for your actions and what you thought and what you believed. Take your power back and just have that mantra. Another mantra has been guiding me this week is, I'm sorry, I'm really into the mantras, but starve your distraction, feed the light. It's a very simple mantra, but if you wake up in the morning, you will wake up with all the thoughts of like debt, this person, I have to do this, and I have to starve the distraction, focus on the light. That's all you can do. Once you simplify your life in just little mantras like that, you will be skipping in life. You'll bring that peace back.
Or put a song on that you love. Mm-hmm. You know, put on a song that change. Like, you know, sometimes we wake up in the morning and we don't feel the greatest.
Yes.
Like, we got to change that, right?
Change
like
frequency.
You know, when I go to sleep, I will listen to stuff that's actually like sounds, certain frequencies and different hertz, or I'll listen to like good verbiage, like abundance and all that stuff. And I'll sleep on that because subconsciously I'm collecting that while I'm sleeping. So, you know, there's all these different tools you can use, but yes.
I know before I go on my shows, I listen to Sirius satellite radio, and I like to listen to my 60s, 70s, and 80s music. And I find it helps calm me and relaxes me. And music is so powerful. I've had a lot of musicians on my show, and music can invoke good memories of the past. Like, obviously, it's emotional. Sometimes certain songs can make you sad, but there's a lot of music out there that will bring back fond memories, and it'll kind of boost your spirit as well. And I'm not a morning person, so there's been many mornings where I've woken up and I'm just like, so I'm working on trying to be more positive when I wake up in the morning as well. And mindset is huge, especially for career change like I'm doing. And I've had to believe in myself, because if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will.
Oh, it's true. It's very true.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think we've had this conditioning where we can't love ourselves enough. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But the idea is like what we did on our last Sunday Live that you were on, and that's what we were talking about, is that there's nobody like you. So why would you not want to shine? Why would you not want to be seen? You know, and we're all imperfect. So we're just people.
And you have to believe in that. Like, that saying has come to me too a lot, believing that there is nobody like you. You have to wake up and say, nobody on this universe has been me. And once you put that mindset on, you strut like nobody's like me. Hello. And walk with that. You know what I'm saying? Believe in it. Be happy with it. And that's the mindset you have to have. Not saying mantras like, today's a nice day, we're gonna like believe in it. You know what I'm saying? Change the frequency in believing.
And but doing this career. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, but people sometimes, you know, I mean, under innocence, they don't know or realize that they're kind of walking in that everyday cycle, you know what I mean? And not realizing that there could be a little more lighter in their life, you know what I'm saying? So with Reiki and stuff like that is very helpful in a lot of different ways too with that, because there could be some unknown traumas or anything like grief, a lost loved one, like any of these forms of things that need to be released out of the body. Because like I said, anything that you think, anything that you speak, it's connected to your emotion center. It's connected to, you know, our bodies are very intelligent. Mm-hmm. We're very intelligent beings, even like our bodies, you know, it's very self-healing.
Absolutely.
Self-placed in that way. So, yeah.
I know one chapter of my life is closed, and there were some positives in it, but I'm working on a new chapter. And you're right. I've surrounded myself with new people from the media industry and new people like yourself, new friends. And I just feel so much better because I'm around people that believe in me, and positivity energy. And like I said, negative energy can suck the life out of you. And it's just been nice. This whole career change has been a wonderful experience, and getting to know people and hearing their stories as well.
Mm-hmm. But one thing I like about you, Chris, that I've gauged from the start, when you're very expressive to the universe in what you want. And asking is not a problem. It's actually a good thing. You are talking to yourself, but you're talking to universe. And you kept talking it. And you being on a radio show, you don't realize you've been sending the frequencies out. And naturally, it magneted you to us, who are all about the frequencies. Like I said, when we did our lives, we just would go on there, not really knowing who we're talking to. Sometimes it looked like we're talking to the wall, but we were changing lives. We had, I remember there was a gentleman who came on there, and he started expressing some things on a live, and he actually sort of emotionally broke down because of the words of life that he'd never heard of, and as if he found something. And he was into cybersecurity. And it's a very traumatic world that he saw and visualized. And I think when he came upon our page, it was just refreshing. His soul, he cried. I think TikTok had to sort of like freeze the video or something, or it went, because it got emotional. And that's when we saw, wow, there's not many people maybe on lives doing this. I mean, there's a lot of marketing, promoting products, but this is the real essence of life, living, abundant living. And you can still have it today, right? And it's not a religious movement. We're promoting nothing. It's more just tapping back into that higher intelligence human being that we are. And now that we're seeing, look, we created technology at such a fast rate in the last 10 years. Like, look how intelligent we are. But why are we not intelligent in the things of healing? Because these are taboo topics. And in extension to this, I got into a conversation with a man who went to Brazil, and he was telling me, in Brazil, these are normal conversations to talk about spirituality. If you feel like, oh, I felt like a spirit was here today, and they really pay attention to this, and they talk it. Whereas here, and more so the Western world, it's taboo. It's, oh, they're seeing things or they're feeling things. And these are the questions and topics we've been talking about, because we shared topics like teleporting, we can sound crazy, but they're like deja vus. Has anybody ever?
Yes,
deja vus
actually, yeah, a number of times.
So in the past, I would say month, I had weird experiences where I would vividly see, I've been there, and I said, this car is going to move, and this person, or in minute like feelings, I'd say, I'd think of somebody or something, and my phone would ring, and that person would ring the next second. And I'm thinking, oh, I might be crazy, but this is the higher intelligence, and maybe it's coming out now. And a lot of people are, even like you see, you're attesting to this. Other people have been feeling or going through these things, and they're like, no, maybe I'm crazy, but universe is talking, and it's a time of healing. Something is coming out, and we don't know it.
And not to mention too, like when you start changing, and even from my own personal experience, your environment changes too. And it changes usually, you know what I'm saying? Like, and sometimes those people don't even, it's not even just kind of like, it just naturally goes. And then like, you just have like this whole like new group of people that, you know, are in the same mind frame as you know, like positive and, you know, so I think it's good stuff.
I had deja vu a couple weeks ago, and it actually involved you guys. And honestly,
crazy.
I've had it a few times, and it's actually like, just like this new career. I think I've seen it before, where I was in a new career in radio media, I'm a big believer in deja vu and stuff like that.
Someone explained it to me once that I mean, I think, was it you? I don't know. You said something about how sometimes like sometimes your past life or something, you could have been something in your past life, and then it comes and tries to either teach you a lesson. And this is where all the topics go.
I mean, we may not want to go into those
topics. You see, it sounds a little, but these are the questions that we talk about. And these are the questions that, instead of oh, what did J-Lo wear on her dress? I'm a stylist. I love J-Lo and I love style. Don't get me wrong, but just real topics. This is what happens around a campfire. People actually search and they talk about these things. And I think we just brought the uncomfortable to the screen, right? Without feeling that we're going to be judged, because at the end of the day, we are all the same in one way or the other. We still have the same desires, the same questions. When things happen to us, like deja vus, what is it? We need to talk with each other. And I think back in the day, before technology, we did do those things. We had more of a natural, organic gatherings amongst each other's humanity,
communities,
right? And we
love peace, like Avatar.
Yeah,
I will go back to
Avatar.
I love the
Avatar. Avatar was a great depiction of a little bit of that innocent living, and the simplicity of life, right? So
and everyone's doing their own things, but you know, everyone's in peace with amongst each other, and what a beautiful place that would be. Right?
We're living in a bit of an avatar. We are, and I think Avatar is a good depiction of that,
Yeah.
and probably a good reminder of tapping into that. Now look at this, we're doing a radio show, we're connected from different parts of the world, which, by the way, we had people coming in from Korea. We never had people come in from Korea in our life. That was amazing. So it's just, yeah, this good energy is global, and everyone now with Wi-Fi, internet, we are more connected than ever.
I didn't even know what Wi-Fi was 13 years ago. So I would say in the last few years, I've come a long ways. And you always hear the negative things about social media and technology. But if you use them in the right way, it's a great tool. And without this technology, I don't have this show, or I'm on 2 radio stations. So and you know what? I'm going to be honest with you guys. My last career, it was time to move on. But you know what? I take some positives out of it, because I believe in my former career, I did learn some things that helped me prepare for this career. And I think life is like a book, and one chapter is over and I'm starting a new chapter. I don't mean to go on that, but I just find I'm trying to take more positives out of negative situations going forward.
I love it.
You know, the fact that you said the chapter thing, you see, this is how good energy is. Before I came on the live, one of my last notes was, we write the chapters in our lives. We are the writers, and we are the script writers. So see how even our language synced. This was on my notes. So you see, and now that energy, do you feel that? And that's connectivity. That's something the universe, and that's the question marks of conversation that come together with our Sunday night lives, and sort of how you found us. You're asking universe, and we're talking to universe too, and many people are. And so whoever's even listening to this show, it was meant for you to listen to it tonight, because it's a very unique energy. It's not really out there too much. Nobody talks about this. So yeah.
And with all my guests, I love the storytelling aspect. And also, I can see how passionate you are about Reiki as well. And it's important to have a passion in life as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I mean, it started with basically meditation, right? And so I'm an avid meditator. And that's a really good tool to use for, you know, working with oneself, because it does change the dynamic of how you feel at the end of the day, and the outside of you too, and how you react and everything, and it just kind of calms you down. And then yeah, Reiki just came through. I had my very good friend of mine that introduced me to Reiki, and that's how I'm always open to trying new things. So I just started to take the classes, and I really liked it. And yeah, it's a really good practice to have, actually, because a lot of people think that things aren't, like I said, it's like a biology, right? So all these issues that you have could be old stuff that are just stuck. So it's a Japanese technique that is one form of modality, and it's more for relaxation. It's a relaxation kind of setting, and it's placement of hands, and I do body scans on people's bodies, and to make you feel lighter and everything else, because people forget about the idea that we are physical, mental, emotional bodies, and we are energy beings. So any kind of stress, any kind of griefs, like I was saying, it can be stuck in your body. And literally what Reiki does is alleviate those situations. So, and I will love to give you a practice of Reiki for free, and you can have the experience. So
free. I like that. Free is my favorite word.
And let me tell you something. I will testify. Kerri's Reiki it takes a special person to have. Not everybody's a healer. Healers are very, like, back in the day, they would put these people in special.
Well, we all have the abilities, actually.
We do. That is true. But some people are higher in that, right? You carry she has a very good, what's it called? Insightful intake. You really have it. I will say that. I mean, iron sharpens iron, and so we sort of we sort of complement each other in that sense. And sometimes if I see how she operates, I'm like, yeah, you were right on that. You really saw that. She has an in-depth insight with her Reiki. I'll give her that.
How long has it been over here in North America?
Ooh, well, it did come from Japan. So as Isui, he is in Japan, and he actually he just kind of wanted to discover some form of method, and he just put a method together, and he did a lot of meditation and all that stuff, and made it a technique and started teaching it. And then it just kind of moved on to like Hawaii, States, Canada. I don't actually know the dates per se offhand right now, but yeah, I mean, there is other Reiki practitioners out there, and yeah, you can do it from a distance. You can do it in person. It's just as effective, actually. So I've had clients online, and I've done Reiki with them. So they would lie on their table, and then I would just direct on what I was going to do with them. So yeah, it's all about energy. We're all energy beings. And I don't know if you like sense vibes with different people and whatnot, but I mean, that is a real thing. You know what I mean? So we have more than senses than just what meets the eye, right? We do have senses in different ways: our hearing, our sense of smell, our sense of taste, and what we feel, right? And so a lot of people, sometimes they don't really realize that they have other senses that they can utilize. And so, you know, as an avid meditator, I have different senses that are a little bit more stronger too, because I don't know, I can't even explain it. But I mean, a lot of people do Reiki. So it's a really great way to tap in within yourself and do self-healing and to do healing on others. So
Is it okay if I play a video? I've got a 3-minute video I found on YouTube
Sure.
from Living Healthy in Chicago, but it's a great 3-minute video about it, and I'd like to play it for my audience.
Yeah, no
That's
problem.
okay? Okay, no problem. And this is courtesy of the Living Healthy Chicago channel. And just let me know if you guys can hear the audio okay.
So much has been discussed about Reiki
Wonderful.
in today's world of integrated healthcare, but there's still some confusion about what Reiki really is. So today I'm talking to an expert to find out why Reiki can help with overall wellness. So I'm here with Terry Kirsting, who is a holistic health practitioner. Now, Terry, for our friends that don't understand what Reiki is, I think the first thing we need to know is what it's all about.
Reiki energy healing is a Japanese technique of stress reduction, relaxation, and it also promotes healing. Everything in the universe is energy, everything, including emotions. When we have emotions, we can have emotional blocks that we hold on to, and that can affect that pure life force energy. So Reiki is about helping to release those blocks.
Is it just for mental, or is it in physical, or is it really an overall wellness that you're going for with Reiki?
Oh, absolutely, overall wellness. I mean, as a holistic health practitioner, you're looking at mind, body, and spirit. It's very healing in all respects. There are even hospitals that are now using it. There are coping mechanisms and think processes that we can do that just help us to recharge, to recenter. Reiki is an excellent tool for doing that.
So it's a good idea to sort of have it in your wellness toolbox.
Exactly. Who doesn't like to feel at peace and calm?
Yeah.
Every soul living can benefit from it.
You want to show me how it's done?
Sure. I'm going to show you my way. Other practitioners might do it a little bit differently, but it's all good.
So Terry, normally when I do Reiki, I'm used to laying down, but today I'm in a chair.
The chair is a nice way for someone to be able to do it anywhere. And I can do like a quick 10-minute session, which can be amazing just in the course of a day. I don't touch the body. You may feel tingling or warmth, and there's no right or wrong whether you feel something or not.
The biggest lesson that we can learn from Reiki healing is that it's just another great tool to add to our wellness toolbox.
Yes, it helps with stress reduction, it helps with relaxation, it helps our body to heal, it helps us center at the end of the day. Also, it helps us to prepare for the day ahead and all the stresses and anxieties that can come up.
For more information on how other things work in the world of health, just check out our website, livinghealthytv.com.
Yeah, because we actually deal with a lot of stresses every day, right? you know?
I just wanted to get your thoughts on the video because I watched it before you guys came on, and I thought it was a good clip.
Yeah, no, it was a good clip. I mean, yeah, she's right. Like every Reiki practitioner does things differently. I do both. I will do touch if a person's comfortable. If not, it doesn't make a difference. But I mean, again, I do them online as well. So I've done plenty of them online. And yeah, I mean, like we are universal energy, life force energy. Like we're just energy beings. We're like cosmo energy and just fractals of it, which is pretty cool if we're going to talk in scientifical terms. But yeah, I think it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful tool. I mean, I do Reiki on myself when I meditate as well. So if I can feel like, oh, it wasn't a good day today, it's like down in the basement, music on, meditation, and Reiki.
I think I need it 7 days a week.
Well, like I said, I'm going to be more than happy to, if you'd like, I can do one for you. So
And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think I'm more apt to trying new things now, the last 4 years, than I did in my previous career of 20 plus years. And I just think the older I get, more I'm have an open mind to things. And one thing I wanted to ask you about Reiki is, well, can it help you with memory, weight loss, and also your mental health as well?
Oh, it can help with a lot of different things. It just depends on what kind of blockage that you're having. I mean, I will say meditation is a good form too, because as Reiki practitioners, you are definitely doing meditation. And even just doing Reiki on its own, that's kind of like you're tapping into a different state, like, gamma, theta, all the different brain frequencies when you're doing it. But what meditation can do, and say you are doing some Reiki, I mean, you're tapping in a different zone. So, I mean, it's anti-aging. It builds memory. Your memory increases. People that are playing those games and whatnot, they're very quicker, like, quick to react, like, from mind to the games. And there's a lot of benefits. It keeps you young. It keeps, like, I mean, people like realize, physical is important, all that stuff. But your brain is really important too. I think your inner peace is very important. And I think that these different modalities, whether it's Reiki, whether it's Qigong or any of those forms, they're very beneficial. They're beneficial for anyone to do, so
Most blockage.
yeah, because we forget that we have emotional imbalance. Like people can have emotional imbalances, or, they're feeling stuck, or people are repetitive on how they behave. It's a block. There could be blockages there, right? That need to just be released and more on a relaxed state and all of that good stuff. So,
And it can also help with sleep, right?
absolutely, it can help with a lot of different things. Yes. Yes. Because if your mind is busy and stuff like that, Reiki is giving you that time to relax, right? And it lifts out a lot of that stress inside. I mean, there's like breath works, there's lots of different things that I like to implement into my Reiki. So
I'm going to be honest with you guys as well. I'm a warrior, and I'm also a perfectionist, and sometimes I expect too much of myself. I'm very hard on myself.
As is a lot of people. I mean, I'm an image consultant stylist, and yeah, a lot of people are I don't know where this mindset is. I mean, it's a good mindset to have a bit of perfectionism, but if you look at the earth, I always look at the elements of just little things in life. Is the earth very perfect? It's perfect, but imperfect. It's imperfectly perfect. We start to look at life that way. It's right before us. It's showing us. It's teaching us. When you look at the landscape, you don't have it cookie cut the way we do the landscaping in our way, or architectural design. The universe is very messy, but messily perfect, right?
And I think too with what you're saying about that issue, when you have an agenda, you're not tuning into nature. You know what I mean? Connecting to nature in that form. And we tend to forget, like being in the city or whatever, like taking a walk in the nice brisk nature. Like, I'm not sure if you do that, but I mean, like all these things, there's just so much busyness going on, and we need that time for ourselves to make us a priority, to just, relax, and just like take deep breaths, and even if it's 10 minutes, you know what I mean? That's going to make a huge difference in your day. So
something that's also, I've been saying this, is changing your routine of visual. So when you come back home, what's the most something very small, but think about it. We come home, you turn the lights on in the evening, you put your TV on. Do this for a week and go through an electrical fast. And I'm serious. I've been promoting this because I used to, you know what I used to put on my TV? The fireplace. A crackling fireplace. Okay. So your screen that you use for all the time with all these frequencies of music, just a fireplace. Okay. And then your whole area, just candles. Now be safe with your candles, obviously. Don't fall asleep with them on. But you're putting in the natural elements of what humanity always was. Fire was our original light. Kind of going to cave days, but you can still have that living space and tapping back into the elements. You'll see your body and even your eyes. These lights sometimes have high frequencies that affect us, and the cortisol in the eye, it goes to the brain, and the brain, you're getting these vibrations, it goes down to the body. Then you wonder why you're not relaxed. You've had a high shock of frequency from your eyes to your mental. Now, when you have that off and it's just fire, you'll see the balance. You'll sleep better. You'll have a calm. You'll have a relax. So that's also part of my lifestyle consulting, sort of, is just little things that you change in your life, right? So that's something to implement in your life for anybody who's listening. I think try it even for a week. You'll see a big difference.
Absolutely. And just wanted to let you know, I've gotten back to walking 30 minutes to an hour a day as per my doctor. I'm in a battle with my weight, which I'm going to beat. I'm going to do this. And what I do is I go hiking out by the river in nature. And the only thing is I still carry my phone on me. So when I do the hiking out there, I'll keep the phone on me, but I'm going to try to just focus on the walking and enjoying the nature more instead of the smartphone part. And also I'm volunteering at a local humane society again with dogs, and it's kind of nice because the dogs there, they're looking for forever homes, and they're just so happy, glad to see you, and they're just full of love, and it just makes you feel good. And walking the dogs is great for them and also for myself as well.
Well, actually, Shaman Derek I'm a big fan of Shaman Derek, and he had mentioned about animals actually like clean energy. That's why they sleep all the time. So yeah, they're really good for us, to have animals around. So that's very cool.
Another word I wanted to use with you guys is self-care. Sometimes we take care of other people more than our own selves.
That's a good point.
Guilty.
Well, I don't know if you tuned into that Sunday night live that we did, but we were talking about empathy. Empathy was a big topic in regards to a lot of heartbreaks, relationship topics, a lot of pain going on, right? And I think that's where the topic of empathy came through. And we were just talking about how you have to sort of have that mindset to get to that, pretty much. If you carry yourself with empathy, that is the number one tool to helping with that.
And to add to that, I mean, being empathetic, even for myself, learning how to set boundaries, knowing your core values as a person is really important. And you have to be a strong empath, right? Because, there is people out there that may take advantage and whatnot. And so you got to be able to have those boundaries. They're really important to have in your life. So,
yeah. So the empathy was how, I guess, self-care is a lot of the times, I think for us as healers, what our experience was is that we're givers. So then we tend to have a lot of empathy. But sometimes the self-care comes in where you need to have those boundaries, like she was saying, there's being empathetic to certain levels, but also not, you have to have like layers to that, not to overgive. Givers, we give a lot, but takers will always take. But we also have to be filled, right? So you have to have a finite level of sort of like forgiving if those people hurt you, but to the point of taking on all the hurt all the time, it becomes abusive, which eliminates your energy.
And you're doing it to yourself too, because you're choosing, you're allowing, right? So that's why for me, I find having boundaries and having your core values set out, because you learn with other people, right? So then you can collect it, right? Because if you're angry, anger is a good emotion. It's showing you where your boundaries are, blame is a way to discharge pain and discomfort. I mean, it's emotional intelligence that you need. It's so important for people to have, because the environment that you're in, you know what I mean? So, and to be kinder, you know, and spiritually enlightened people will not react. They don't, because they know it's coming in a place of themselves. It's nothing to do with you, right? And there's that fine line where you can somehow protect your energy from other people's stuff. And that's a very, very, very hard thing to do. It's a very hard thing to do, though. It is. I mean, we're imperfect. We're human beings. We're gonna have, you know, stuff happen. I mean, I'm one of them, but a practice. It's a practice, right? Because it's not you. You have to detach yourself from other people's stuff too, right?
And also, like, I'll bring in a bit of religion in this, but sometimes, you know, we grew up with these stories, but like, I know everyone's familiar with the Bible and Jesus, and some of the things, the elements of some topics that I learned, like growing up in church. Jesus used to go and he used to separate himself from people. He used to go away. That was like little signets of teaching, you know. He was a guru. He was a well-taught man through example, right? And these are the things that we are surrounded so much by people living in the city. We're doing transactions where we're just going to the bank. We're going here. We never have that distraction to go away from people. And for me, in my past, I did live a bit off the grid for about 8 years. And by 19, I had already known there was something different with me. When everybody was chasing after a lot of things, I settled down and I had a family, and there was no interest in the world. We were homesteading. We were with people who lived off the grid before it became famous, right? And then I had my family sometimes laugh at me. They'd be like, oh, she's gone crazy, you know, but I removed myself away from that. Now, after 8 years, I did come back to the city, and it's been really hard because I really was not speaking with the people or doing what the people or the media and everything that was going on for 8 years. And I can truly say it's a very outsider angle of visual that I see now. And so sometimes, like, getting away from that and going to a place for 6 months or you know, just to have that cleanse of the same visuals, the same energy, when you come back, you're highly elevated. You see things in different ways, different angles, right? Writers do this as well. It's a very good thing. If you feel like you're really at the brink of that and nothing is changing, sometimes change environment. Because again, back to your question, filling your cup and self-care is very important. Before you give, you have to make sure you're not giving from an empty cup as well, right?
And a lot of people are afraid of change. I know change can be scary, but change can be also good, because what's the point of staying in an environment that you're miserable and unhappy with? And I can say that in the past. And I find a lot of the changes in my last 4 years have been positive. And I've done more learning and growing as a person in the last 4 years. And like I said, a lot of people don't realize change is not always bad. It can be scary, but it can also be very good as well.
Well, I mean, these are the things. It's the reason why it is because it's out of your comfort zone. And I mean, I can speak for that as well. I mean, I understand what it's like to lean into discomfort, but that's your place of growth. And that is your place of, you know, sorry.
No, go on. No.
I'm sorry. I'm like trying to like
ignore me. Did not see me. I did not.
But like when you lean into discomfort, that's your form of growth too, right? And any kind of fear, it's to face those things, right? And so when you get past it, you know, I'm sure you know, just by doing what you've been doing, it was like, wow, why did I wait so long? Or okay, it's not so bad. You know what I mean? Like I think it's important. Sorry.
So sorry when I was like this.
No, it's okay.
It got me back to actually a really important topic, because a good storytelling now. Okay, story time. Okay, so by doing something that you're not comfortable with is sort of how we met. So for years, I used to go to Cuba for healing. There was something about Cuba that just how do you say this? Like, it just healed me. Like when I go in the water, it almost felt like a mikvah. You know what a mikvah is? A mikvah is sort of a Jewish term of like almost baptism, but you know, Christians do it. And these are old traditional things people used to do to cleanse their essences, their body, going into a body of water. So that was my healing. So like I was going through something around Christmas time. I had lost a job, and I literally, obviously the financial aspect was very limited. And I was contemplating whether to go to Cuba. I'm thinking, why are you doing this? You know, it's not, but something was drawing me. Something was pulling me. And I said, you know what, just go under your broke self, just go. And I went there. And the energy that I was getting in from people, the people I met, one night I just go to the cafeteria by myself, eating alone. I was going to go to bed early, and I meet some people, great people. Before you know it, I'm meeting Kerri. And me and Kerri live like we don't know each other she was living her life, I'm living my life, and we just merged and connected. And then we started the Sunday Night Lives, and then we started seeing more and opening our energies. And
But
so
it was very organic.
it was organic, but I was not feeling the energy. It was uncomfortable. Something was telling me not to go, but something was telling me, because it's telling me not to go, just go in for the dive. And the way it connected, go figure, she lives 10 minutes from my bird.
Wow.
That's crazy, right?
From 2 different worlds. So
That's crazy, right?
It's amazing how we connected. So I don't know. I had to tell that story with like being uncomfortable and challenging yourself. That sometimes, going back to how intelligent we are, sometimes the universe go by instinct. We need to go back to the instinctual sayings of learning, of hearing those voices. They protect us. Animals have this. They have this instinct. They know. They sense. We've lost it. And I think that's what universe is going back to.
Like, take your socks off, walk on the grass.
Earthing.
Get some earthing in. EMF, electromagnetic field. You know, like earth.
Do different things. You might
there's some, and I'm telling you, when you take your socks off and you walk on that grass, let me tell you how you feel. You feel amazing. You feel like really tuned into the earth. Like this is stuff, like we got soles on our feet all day long. This is why there's a lot of those different things going on. That's why it's so important to get into nature. It's so important to do, meditation, whatever it is. Go for a massage. Go listen to some good music. Like, there's all these great tools out there, you know?
Just like I need to go for a vacation. I haven't had one in 5 years, and at this time, it's like I shouldn't go because of the money aspect of it. But I do feel like it's time for me to go. And when I do go on vacation, I always meet somebody new and I hit it off. And when I went on this trip a few years ago, I met this gentleman, Pat, with Elite Sports Tour, and I didn't realize he was with TSN at the time. We hit it off, and 5 years later, we're still friends. And he was one of my first supporters when I started doing my podcast show on Instagram Live. I was very awful, but Pat supported me, and he believed in me, and he gave me some advice. And now this day, I get to see him when I cover my lacrosse games, and it's just been great.
That's amazing. Yeah. It's so nice when you can connect with people like that too.
I find also people that travel and often get away from the corporate, they're in a very different frequency and a different vibration. You know, they're all also not intentionally, but they are healing. They're in a healing zone, right? So you will tend to attract that as well. And then you also regain and fill your cup. So you should, Chris, maybe something's calling you out there, especially now at this stage in your life of meeting high energy soul sisters like us. Maybe you're going to extend that, and you might find even more soul sisters and brothers. Who knows?
Absolutely. And even when I do my media work for some pro sports teams, I always run into somebody who I don't know, and I just know how to connect with them. And I love being around people. And one thing I wanted to ask you guys, how hard was the pandemic for those 2 years? Because I know I got through it through this show, but there's nothing better than when you're connecting with people in real life as well.
Mine was a little bit different. I'll be honest with you. I adapted. Like, I used to hit the gym Monday to Friday. I was still hitting the gym, but I was doing it at home, cans, milk, like whatever. I was getting creative, but I was actually fortunate enough that I did end up going back to work, and I was on a 1 week schedule out west, and I was spending my days in Kelowna, BC for 7 days. And I brought my bike, and I brought my cooler, and I brought my beach wagon, and that was me. That was me. I kind of just adapted to what was going on, and I just tried to keep in touch with nature, just doing all of that stuff just to kind of fly by the night. And BC was actually, the gyms were still open. So there was, when it got to a certain stage, I was just going to the gyms there. So yeah, for me, I was just kind of like accepting that this was a situation, and I just got to make the best of it. That was just kind of my attitude on it.
For me, it was surreal. Well, first of all, I fell in love. I had a baby, so I was very distracted. But I got introduced to TikTok, and I'm telling you, TikTok saved a lot of lives because it brought music, it brought singing, it brought a distraction out. And so for me, being artistically creative, I was doing that with my belly, and I was just, I was, again, I had that mentality of starve the distraction and feed the light. And that's how I got by through it. But I've always had this mindset. I've always just internally been happy. And when bad things happen, I'm always like, there's got to be a lesson. There's got to be a lesson. So I painted a lot as well. I'm an abstract painter. I share some of my art, by the way, on Scylla's arts, Scylla's paintings. I share my IG on my TikTok as well. It's a Scylla. It's _ a Scylla. So I did some painting then, and which is a good thing also too. A lot of people think painting is something just for certain people, but it's an expressionism. Like, just get a brush. Don't paint essence. Paint what you're feeling that day. Just look at where your body's going to go with the color. If it goes to blue, do blue. If it goes to red, that's the universe. And once you see it before you, that's the colors talking to you. And actually on the lives, we've actually had some people who come on there, and they'll just, have you seen these people where they'll just pick at you and say, you're a blue, or you're pink. Have you heard of the color insighters? Have you heard of
No.
Yeah, there's people who see essences through color, and they'll just give you a color, like your aura is purple or something like that. So that's a new thing too in the whole spiritual awakening thing, people talking through color. And yeah, so
well, I think, I mean that was a big eye opener for a lot of people. And yeah, there was a lot of unfortunate situations during that time, but I knew for myself personally during that time, if I was going to be in that fear, in that low, like, I didn't want to be in that place. So I just really put myself into nature, go for bike rides. I love going for bike rides. I was in Kelowna, BC. It was beautiful to be out there and by the beach, by the water. I mean, all of that is just healing in itself too. So
it was a good test for a lot of people. I mean, COVID, I say it was a good thing in the sense that it taught a lot of people a lot. It grounded everybody, but it also taught us resiliency, right?
Well, I mean, you have to think, we were just talking about it. It's like autopilot. Everybody's living their life, getting up Monday to Friday. This is what we're doing. This is, and then some people were mentally ill from that because they're like, what do I do? What am I doing? That's where the inner peace matters. It's where it matters because you are content within yourself. And then other people around you are just an addition in your life. You know what I mean? And the community, the people that you're around. So that's why it's like, there's been different scenarios. I mean, unfortunate situations that happen. I mean, the hospitals. I remember being in Calgary and the people are ringing and making sound for the nurses and stuff like that from the hospitals and like all this stuff, right? But yeah, it was a awakening for a lot of people.
It was a big awakening. Yeah. The saddest part at the time that I did feel was the people that weren't allowed to go visit their deceased, let's say parents. That was, I can't imagine what people have had to go through and what they've had to recover and heal from, I think. And that's why we, as maybe strong vessels during the time and season, we are giving back that because we have that energy. Because these are mental restraints that, sometimes people go to therapists, it doesn't work. Sometimes people go to all these sources. And sometimes you just need to find your right person to give you the right piece of word. It could be an essence. Healers are healers. We just have in our essence. You could just change one person's life with just that one word, and it will change their whole life. So,
I think too, though, you got to have curiosity in your life too. I think that's fulfillment. If you keep the curiosity alive, that's fulfilling. And you're finding more discovery of things. And there's things that, like you said, you're just starting to open up with different things, Chris. And it's like, well, yeah. And then guess what? Now you're just opening up other different pathways of like things that you could enjoy, that could be something that you'd be really into.
So training your mind to see the good in everything. So I think at this point, it was a tough journey for a lot of people, but back to empathy. Now I think as humanity, we have to look at ourselves as just like, be empathetic to this person's story. You don't know what they went through. That's number one. And then you don't know how they coped. Number two, part of empathy. And then act accordingly. I think humanity is getting to that. And that's what we have to be now, because everyone got affected very differently during that season. And yes, it is a season of light, love, and breaking mental bondages.
And community building. I think connecting, we're all connected really, and I think that we have to have that kind of mindset, that whatever you see in a person is what you see in yourself, and it's just mirroring and reflections. So, and the people that are not so nice in the world, I just give them love, still. You just have to realize that they're just growing at their level, at their rate, whatever it is, you know what I mean? Like, I'm no better than anybody else, we're all people, and, we deserve the kindness, and we need more of that.
And that's the one thing too. When I do make it in this industry with my mindset, I'm not going to let if I have fame and success, or when I have it, I'm not going to let it go to my head. I'm going to be the same person as always. And as for the pandemic, that's when I started my new career in March of 2020. And it really helped me get through those 2 years. And it kind of helped find me what I want to do. So I turned a negative situation into a positive situation.
Good for you. And we hear you. I mean, we loved your energy. When we first got introduced to you, you were contributing to the conversations. You were amazing, and we were very honored. And
we enjoy it. We enjoy it when people engage. So.
And thank you so much. And one thing about my shows, when I first started here, they were all scripted and everything. I got some advice for some guys from the NBA, and even though I prepared a whole bunch of questions for you guys tonight, I just felt like I can talk to you guys without having to read the questions I prepared, just to have a natural conversation with you guys.
Yeah, no, it's more fun.
Yeah, and like you said, how you are like this is how we are. We're very organic. We have no filters. We're organic and keep the energy green, because that's how energy flows. It's like a river in our bodies. Just like right now, as we're sitting, our blood is moving. It's a flow. It's operating. It's a flow. No blockage. And that's how universe is supposed to be. That's how as essences, as people, we're supposed to be.
Yeah, no agendas.
No agendas. Yeah.
The agendas is what makes it, you know what I mean? It's not organic, right?
Absolutely.
I like this better. It's more fun.
One question I wanted to ask to both of you, and I just wanted to get your opinion on it. Do you find empathy has shrunk over the years because of social media?
Yes and no.
Well, okay. I'll be honest with you. I don't really watch too much TV at all. And I haven't since I was 20, to be honest with you. So not to say I don't watch movies. I mean, I hear it from people. I hear it by people. So word of mouth. If there's a good movie, I'll watch it. I heard about Bob Marley, One Love. I'm definitely going to watch it. But the idea is I'm mindful. I'm mindful of what I watch, because it easily just sinks into you. So like the news and stuff like that. I mean, I literally didn't watch much news at all during COVID. I heard it by word of mouth. And that's when I started to do my due diligence. But the idea is, no, I literally am mindful of all my social medias. If it's not adding value to me, if it's not making me,
So you're making you fearful.
Yeah, I don't want any of the nonsense. Like, I want something that's going to teach me something that's going to lift me up, So I think it's up to us what we watch. And I mean, people do what they do. I'm not suggesting that. I'm just, for myself, that I'm just mindful of that, because you get what I'm saying, Chris.
Yeah. 5 years ago too, I stopped watching the news, and it was one morning. Well, I used to have it in the background, which a lot of people tend sometimes to do, is passive noise. But I would pay attention to my body, and I would start feeling heaviness in my heart, heaviness in my chest area, just by the frequencies it was giving. 5 years ago, I stopped watching the news. And like she said, if there is something that happens, you will know. It's not to say, nowadays you'll go to even Walmart or whatever, and you will just, the news is showing, or you go to the nail parlor, you'll see it, right? But a continuous, consistent insight of that information, I don't think is good. There's also other social media platforms now that people are sending out positive news. There's I think it's called Good News Media, where they show good things in news. Like, did you know this lady gave birth to 3 healthy triplets? Wow. Like, or did you know this truck driver stopped his truck and he had the squirrels cross the road? Or like little cute things of like, why are we not talking about those little things about Earth? But even that little minute information is peace, as opposed to there was stabbings and shootings. I can't entertain that. That is not life. And this is what's being depicted sometimes.
I mean, I understand there's reality.
There's realities,
yes. But I mean, if there's more of that kind of stuff being on, it's and you be a downer for your immunity. Yeah, yourself, right? Yeah. So
And that's what I try to do with this show. Obviously, I love my sports, but I've transitioned my show not just from sports, but from some other subjects. Like I've had comedians on, actors on, I've had musicians on. You guys are my first Reiki people to come on here. So I want my show to be entertaining and storytelling and fun. Because we
Yeah.
don't have enough of that on TV anymore. I grew up in the 70s and 80s, and we used to escape from reality watching TVs and movies, and nowadays it's completely changed.
It is. There's a lot of horrific. I mean, you still have the good comedians that are coming on, but the comedians are laughing at what society has become. I mean, that's all you can really laugh at now, really, right? You can't. But I see what you're saying. Yeah, media. You have to tame media. I think I heard someone say once, "Tell lies vision, television." Tell lies vision is a visionary of a lot of lies and marketing, and there's good and bad, but yes, it's just like your diet. You definitely need to change your diet through your eyes first. That goes to your mental, and that changes your food choices. It changes how you sleep. It doesn't create worry. Little practices in life is the key to changing and being positive. Little things in life. Change routines. Change your mindset.
Just test it out. I think everyone has a different routine, but test it out. Get rid of something or add something. Do something different. Just
step into the water, child.
Between the both of you, who's the better singer?
Oh God. I'm a little animated. I can't help it. I grew up in Africa. We're very happy people. We're very all the time. And it's funny because moving here to Canada,
I think it's wonderful. So
I get
we need more of that high energy around. So
funny enough, Chris, this energy that I've always had got very suppressed in Canada because I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the 9 to 5 and I had people telling me, why are you too animated? And I would sort of almost maybe what you like to do and people bullied you and told you not to do your radio show. Now you're getting your confidence back. These are mindsets that I had started believing that. I had started thinking, wow, am I the crazy one? And these are all normal people. But no, that was my essence. That was my naturality. And now I'm even gravitating more into that. I've never changed. And people still think, what's wrong with her? And it's just I don't know. Africa is just a vibe. You go there, the markets from the morning that you wake up, the potato guy selling you potatoes, yelling potatoes, potatoes, potatoes. But it's alive by 5. And you're shut up. But you know what I mean? It's fun. It's exciting. And here it's very, the grocery stores, I talk about this a lot. It's very, hello. It's very robotic. I honestly think they should just change that. But that's my mind frame. But yeah, I guess I'm the singer. I'm the more animated one a little bit.
What do you miss most about Africa? If there's one thing about Africa you miss.
The freedom spirit and the not seeing color or race. We don't see that. We see people for humanity. We see people as, oh, that's Chris, either the radio guy. He's a good guy. He's an asset. We don't have a distinctive. I mean, even nowadays when you go on resumes or certain resumes like job hunting, I've seen this and they put on, are you this? Are you she? Are you he? So many, are you of this race? Are you? And it's guys, we're all humans. We're all human beings. So I love that about Africa and the food, I guess. So
Kerri,
be good.
Yeah. Oh, Kerri, as for music, I'm going to let Kerri go first on this. What's your favorite music, and do you have a song that you like to sing, and just your favorite kind of music?
Well, I will say right now, I'm going to say John Lennon, Imagine.
Good choice.
Yeah.
I think that was from 1980.
I'm not even sure, but I love the lyrics of it because it's a wonderful song.
Priscilla, do you have a favorite song?
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. I don't know.
Keep going.
I'm not singing. Keep going. Singer. Anyways, I used to be on church choir. I did, but
really?
Well, okay, sing it again.
No,
it's wonderful.
No, anyways, Ain't No Sunshine. I love that song. The last time she came to my house, she's like, "Oh, I'm bye," and then I hear your speakers. Ain't no sunshine. You're blasting. I can hear you down the road.
I blast my music.
That was my favorite.
Can I tell you guys something about myself? I have no music talent. When I went to New York 5 years ago, I had a few drinks in me. I was on a sports trip and I went to a bar to do karaoke. I'd never done that before in my life.
Good
I had
for
a few
you.
drinks in me. It was a lot of fun, but I emptied out the bar. So, but it was a great time, though. It was a great time. But
Oh,
I
that's
have no musical talent. My talent is through my mouth and my ears listening.
As long as you're having fun, that's the most
What's your
important thing in
favorite
life.
song right now?
Yeah.
I would say my all-time favorite song is from 1981. I know I'm ancient. Phil Collins called "In the Air Tonight."
Oh, Phil,
I love
that is
Phil
a beautiful-
Collins.
Oh, Phil Collins is amazing.
Yeah, we love Phil Collins. Yeah.
It
Can you
just
sing it for us? Can you sing it?
I don't have no
Just
musical talent.
karaoke for us.
No,
Let's
it's
hear
okay,
it.
it's
It's okay.
If I'm at a bar and I have a drink or two, I'd probably do it. But yeah, on my show, I'll pass on that.
It's okay.
It's a good Phil Collins. I love Phil Collins. That's another good one too.
Absolutely. Hey, are you guys okay for a few more minutes and a few more questions I wanted to ask you guys?
Oh, no problem. No
Sure.
Okay.
problem.
This question is going to be for Kerri. How did you end up coming about founding your company, Transcending Lotus? And what were some challenges of starting up your own business?
Okay. Well, Transcending Lotus was founded by me. So I just I was already doing Reiki and doing the practice part-time, and my full-time was scaffolding, which is still current.
Impressive.
16 years of that. Yeah, out west, oil patch. And I've tried many different things. I mean, since I was 20, I went to so many seminars, so many workshops, like hundreds. And I've tested a few of them too, but it just wasn't that niche. It wasn't where I wanted to be. And with Reiki, it's a sense of connection for me. It's a sense of connecting with people. It's a sense of, I like the raw, I like the messy, and I like to find solutions. But I mean, I guess it's with body, but I like chatting with the people, and I like to, do what I can to serve, I guess, in an essence. So that's kind of where Transcending Lotus has come about. Plus, with Transcending Lotus, it's not closing it out as just an international Reiki expert. It's also opening up doors to the idea of anything that is good that's going up, in general. So yeah, that's why. And then what was the other question there? Sorry.
Just what were some of the challenges of starting up your own business?
Well, this is one thing I will say. Everybody needs a coach. You cannot be the smartest person in the room. So you definitely need to have a coach that can teach you and help you and guide you and find the right one. You need someone to challenge you. You need you need some form of coach. So that is one thing I recommend. Like even currently now, I have a coach. And I'm also part of a women's summit, 262 Women's Summit.
Yeah, go ahead.
So there's 262 women. Founder is Deb Drummond. She is the host and founder of that. And she is a woman, to me, woman of impact. And she has put all these women, including myself, entrepreneurs, and creatives in this book. And it's more of like a coffee table book that's being published International Women's Day this year. But also, it's just a way of community connecting again with women, because again, even in the women's sector, we're having a lot of, we do have those issues. And it's like, can we just be kind to each other and love each other's differences and get along? And I think that's really nice what she's doing. She's helping all these people to connect in that way, and that there's no such thing as competition and all that stuff. And so I think it's wonderful. So yeah, I'm happy to be part of that too. So yeah. So yeah, coach. I think a coach is advisable. There's always ways to expand and grow, and continue to educate yourself. I find is really important too. So
what are the challenges?
You just mentioned those two words, grow and educate.
Yeah, grow and educate. Yeah. Yeah. That would be my challenge, is to do it alone. You can't do it alone. I think you need to have some form of challenge.
Especially for the high energy that the trade entails.
I mean, yeah, especially when you're doing it as a side passion, and it's a lot of hours, it's a lot of time managing and learning all these different skills and how I can be more efficient and all of that stuff. So yeah, that's definitely been a thing too. But plus, I think today's day and age, people are more open to holistic wellness and to those approaches. and different types of modalities, Reiki as one of them. I think also the younger generation is definitely more into it. Like they're into the crystals and they're into like all these different things. And yeah, I think it's a good time, actually. I think it's a very good time, for the openness. So it's fantastic. I think it's
Now,
great.
with Reiki we're at now, what is the average general age? Is it for more of the younger generation, or do you find there's more people my age that are 50 plus that are into it now as well?
I don't think that it's like that. I think it just depends on what target of market that you're gearing towards. For myself, it's been more in the older, not so much younger portion of people. But I mean, yeah, like in any business, there's usually get that kind of niche. But I always find that if a person wants my work, that they come, right? I don't really. It's not about like the chasing game kind of idea. It's just more organic, like, yes, I would love to, have a consultation with you, and we can do some work and stuff like that. So I am also part of environmental and ecological as well, and that's where my office is in Toronto. It's a nonprofit organization that I help with when I get a chance to do that too. So I'm doing a few different things, but it's all in the essence of our environment, our active service. And so yeah, I'm kind of diverse in that
Wonder
sector. So I enjoy it though. It's not a job for me. It's not a
You
job.
enjoy what you're doing.
The passion. It's a passion.
Yes.
When it's something you love, it's called a passion.
Yeah,
And
it doesn't feel like work. Even when we do these lives,
It's fun. And we have so much fun together,
and I apologize, I kept you over 45 minutes.
That's okay. That's okay. That's all right.
That's good energy.
No problem. I appreciate you having us on, Chris.
Yes,
My show was originally called 30 Minutes Live with CDP, but eventually I got rid of the number because a lot of my guests like to talk to me more than 30 minutes. So I kind of just changed the name of it. So I've evolved over the last 4 years. Wanted to ask you this too, Kerri, and then I'm going to ask Priscilla another question.
Okay.
You said something to me before you had an event on March 16th. Would you like to promote it on here as well?
Okay, yes. So it's a women's summit, March 16th, 12:30 PST. I'll be doing my 20-minute of speak, and it's going to be about inner peace.
All right.
So I will send you a link, and yeah, if you want to share it, I'm more than happy. 262 Women's Summit, Deb Drummond. If anyone wants to find her, I mean, more the merrier. You'll see everything that she's been doing. She's even put together a nice bottle of wine to represent 262 Women's Summit, and yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be on. I mean, it's TV, so it's great. I'm excited. I'm happy for her. She's definitely a woman of impact. So
okay, because I wanted you to promote that on here. You said the word wine, red or white for both of you?
red.
Depends on the season, time, and weather. For me,
I don't drink a lot of wine, but I would say white.
White, yeah.
White.
Nice.
Hey, Priscilla, I wanted to ask you this too. Can you just tell my audience a little bit about your job or career as an image consultant guide a little bit?
So this stemmed from I used to be involved in a religious setting, and I often found the topics that were discussed were very shallow in terms of attire. And there were discussions of how short your dress is and how high it has to be and how your collar can't show, right? Modesty. And something we touched on earlier is when you think that you are seeing a problem and you're the only one, you start thinking that there's not many people out there who have this problem. So I started Modest Inspiration with challenging these stuck mind frames, and it was a very bold move that I had done because it was in a bit of a religious sector entity of modesty, right? It's a big religious topic, right? And yeah, so I opened Modest Inspiration, and I found myself sharing other ulterior mindsets and mind frames that you can still dress a certain way and have some fashion to it and have fun with color. This is the women's essences to showcase what they love to dress and wear. And we should not be focusing just on the exterior. We should be focusing first on the interior, and that should reflect the exterior. So Modest Inspiration is sort of like, it's a bit of a consultation where get your mind straight, because you can wear the dress, and the moment you emit something from your lip, it can just turn your whole entire self. Does that make sense? So modest inspiration stemmed from a very bold move. So I did get interesting feedback. I mean, originally, you know, I get comments like, "That's not modest. This shirt still like should be this high," and it's like, guys, get with the program. It is not about that. It's a bigger picture. And also I also saw things, like I was a visionary, and I always saw things years in advance. And I did sort of see a bit of promiscuity. Sorry, I can't say the word promiscuity for future. And I started getting emails from fathers with daughters, and they tasked me, and they said, "Wow, like coming to your page is refreshing, because my daughter doesn't have very much inspiration of how to wear modest fashions." And so I served a purpose for, you know, just the future generation to have an ulterior way of dress. It doesn't always have to be what mainstream media is showing us. So that's sort of what I've been doing. I do also sometimes private consults where I'll go in ladies' homes and I'll just look at their closet, and their closets are a reflection of sometimes the confusion that's in their head. And decluttering, you see, can reflect in just your fashion. So I've often come to homes with mothers. This mother called me in once. She has 4 children, and she just did not know even where to begin between, you know, fixing her wardrobe and this. And you could say her mental state was not calm and relaxed. So me coming in and calming her down, focusing on her baby, getting her mental straight, and then fixing her wardrobe, and then helping her children. This is a need that is not often really promoted or seen, but the modesty begins in the little actions of the home, and having a helping hand. So it's far beyond how short and tall your skirt is. So that's was where modest inspiration pretty much stemmed from.
Do you have a website you'd like to promote on here?
My website is parked right now, but I do have a Facebook. You can find us on Facebook, Modest Inspiration. We do have a www.modestinspiration.com. That is me. I'm all Modest Inspiration, the original. And yeah, you can find more of my posts on Facebook under Modest Inspiration.
All right. If you guys got a couple more minutes, I just got 2 more questions I wanted to ask you. I wanted to promote your Sunday night show on TikTok. So can you just tell my audience here a little more about your Sunday night show on TikTok live, and usually at 8 o'clock Eastern?
So the Sunday night lives are the raw, the real, the spiritual, sort of like what we're doing today. And we talk on topics regarding those questions of energy. You know, it starts off with how you're doing, but it's sort of like a campfire setting. And we just set the scene, and we talk about mantras. We have mantras that guide us, and we often share them, and we get feedback from, you know, audiences from around the world, and they will ask certain questions. So we try to heal it in a sense of just what we know. And we also get some feedbacks from other healers around the world. And we just share that energy on Sunday Night Lives.
Yeah, it's pretty well just kind of more organic and whatnot. And if anybody wants any of our assistance, that we're here, you know, if they want anything further. But the live is just a nice way to connect with people and kind of see what the audience is looking for too, you know, like with what we're talking about, so that we can do our best in our part. So
we also,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
We also gauge on just the energy of the universe with that. It says a lot. And also sometimes we find, like, we did it Sunday night because that's sort of the time everyone's winding down, ready for the Monday. And I used to get this. I used to get Monday night blues or Sunday night blues, because Monday was approaching, because you know that morning, and you know how it is. It's just for those who are truckers or the business, it's just the economy is just like rah-rah. It's just, you know, it just goes. So we try to have a message mantra for you, so that when you wake up that week, at least the Sunday night live calms people, gives us mantras that we talk about. We release energy, and then that guides you for the week until next Sunday night live.
Have you guys thought about in the future having your own podcast show, or possibly one day maybe even having your own little radio show?
It would be nice. That would be nice.
It would be nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
Because I have connections. So if you guys are interested in the future, I might be able to help get you guys on the air.
Oh,
Well, that would be, I mean, let's
that'd be
chat.
good. Yeah. We're here. I mean, like you said,
'Cause
we test out the audience, but we're definitely seeing our voices are I guess needed, or we have something to say, and it's just great to hear feedback and be the forefronters of this kind of energy, like putting ourselves out there. So yeah, that would be amazing. We'd be really up for it.
I'd be very honored, Chris. Thank you so much for
Mhm.
thinking of us.
have you guys put a name to your show yet?
Well, this is the thing. We're talking about it earlier because we are two separate sole proprietorship. We did talk about in the future that we need to do like a together, makes it much easier for everyone to identify us, right? Right. And then, so yeah, definitely that is something that we will have to do in the future for sure.
Mhm.
Because I just see the chemistry between you, and
I
you
know.
guys,
So
and you guys are so comfortable. Sorry?
we're so organic.
Someone
It
asked,
is like a blessing to the universe,
Yeah.
the source, whatever you want to call it.
yeah,
But like, it's like I've known her for many years,
and we were both from different.
many
like,
years.
Yeah,
It's yeah,
it's amazing.
it's unreal. To be
And
honest.
just like with you guys, I've only known you for a short time, but I feel like I've known you for a longer time than a week, just because just how we talk to each other, and just the vibes, good vibes.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's what it should be, right?
Mhm.
I don't know if you're seeing the last Sunday when I said the mask thing. And it's not to say anything bad about people, but I feel like a lot of people have that pressure of what kind of image they have to put
Yes.
front. But
Mhm.
you're missing the essence of your beauty.
No one's like you.
No one
Remember?
is like you,
The
right?
show
So you
started with
gotta
that.
expose that. You have to be your it's beauty.
And people have
and
a
perfectly.
and people have a tendency, which is sort of like there's been like I think a lot of past bullying that has restrained people from being their perfect true self, and now that's breaking.
TV is another one too,
Yeah.
though. To be
TV
honest.
influenced a lot of people to
It
be.
can. I mean, like depending on what you're watching, right? That's why I say I'm mindful with what I watch. I'm not gonna watch like I don't know. There's a lot of different stuff I don't really watch because I don't want to get involved in those reality or those. I don't know. You get what I'm saying? Nothing that's gonna add like then
When
you
you're-
you become that, right?
But also,
It's
when
like
you're
I don't want
healer,
to. I don't. Yeah.
when you're a healer, we're very sensitive to spiritual energies. Even for me, by being away from these things, I can actually see who this person is all influenced by. If you've been listening to a certain kind of music, I can hear you just in the way you speak, what essence I'm going to have to deal with. So you have to sort of judge the spirits in a sense that are coming to you. So as healers, that's one thing I think we had in common. We were very away from those platforms so much. We know how to sift them out. I've been on TikTok more, so I have 8,000 followers, and a lot of people, this is the deception they get. They think, oh, she must be really out there. I really don't care about my followers and the number grab. I've always been a healer, and that's why I get a lot of advertisements. How to get 10,000 more followers, and it wasn't about that. It's about, am I happy? Am I doing what? Am I giving back? And just preserving also yourself from being sucked into the vortex of this lost energy.
Or the numbers game. It's not always the numbers. I want to, like you said, I want to produce good content and have interesting shows. And it's not always about the numbers and stuff like that.
The right people.
And for
the
me,
right
the
people.
biggest thing is I used to think, I don't know if you were there for that one, but I used to have my mind about student teacher idea, but I don't like that anymore. I like the idea of you're just reminding others. That's all it is. Because it's like a lost and forgotten kind of idea. So I like that idea of just saying it's just reminding you. That's it. It's not about one or the other. We're all connected as people, and I think that's what a community is about, right? I think that is what it's about.
Reminding people. I showed Modest Inspiration. I do have a bit of, not a segment per se, but once in a while when I feel something that needs to be shot out at the universe, I have a hashtag called kind reminders. And those have oftentimes just, I will throw them out. And sometimes it doesn't get many likes, but it's that day, it was meant for the person who was meant to see it. So I'll just put kind reminders. Remember to love yourself today. Kind reminders. If someone did not tell you that you are great, you are awesome, today's the day. Things like that. Kind reminders. Life is all about reminding ourselves of our greatness.
Absolutely. And one thing too I wanted to mention is it just what I want to say. Okay. I always say don't ever belittle somebody as well. Try to encourage them and build them up instead of putting them down, because I just find there's still too much of that in our society today.
There is a
Well,
lot of
but
bullying.
also there is a reason behind that. There's something that they don't love about themselves, right? It always goes
So-
back to that person. If someone
Mhm.
can be easily unkind and easily to say things that aren't very nice, there's
within
something,
themselves.
it's within themselves. I mean, I know we're human,
Mhm.
but if it's on the repeat, that just means it's on the repeat of what they're feeling inside. And that's why inner peace matters. That's why getting a Reiki practitioner is important, and we can alleviate all that stuff. I mean, there's different tools that you can use. It's not you. To me, it's not a person to be like that.
Agitated.
Yeah,
it
it's
means
not.
that there's chakras or some energy blockage.
It's
and,
not the person. When I look at the Avatar movie, when we talk about the Avatar movie, we're like, that is the people.
It was a little message. They gave
like
the world a
the
little
love.
message.
It's one love. Bob Marley, one love. That is what our world is supposed to be. But there's so much of this stuff that goes on, and what we watch, what we see, all these different things, and it's unfortunate, but
Absolutely.
this is our reality. This is our reality. So.
Okay, and I have one fun question before we wrap things up. What is one fun fact about Priscilla and one fun fact about Kerri?
I don't know if it's a fun fact, but I can't whistle.
Neither can I. Neither
really?
can I.
Thank you.
Neither
Oh my
can I.
gosh. I thought that I was I cannot for the life of me. I can't whistle. And my kids laugh at me. They laugh at me. They're like, how can you not whistle? I'm like, Mama can't whistle. Just so that's encouraging. At least I'm not the only one. I guess that's a fact, but I don't know if it's fun.
What would be a fun fact? I don't know. Actually, it's a hard question for me right now.
Fun fact about you. I've known you just I don't know a little while there.
I don't know actually.
Favorite food or favorite food?
Okay, well, I'm definitely a foodie. So there's a lot of diverse of foods that I love, but I would say mainly probably like Thai food or that kind of stuff. I like the spices
You
and
love
the
your
spicy
Asian food.
Yeah,
she
Asian
loves her
foods. Yeah,
We just had Asian food tonight.
we did, and I took her to Thai toss.
Thank you. Thank you.
I haven't had dinner yet, so I'm gonna have to.
Okay,
You're
well,
hungry.
Sorry.
That's gonna cut the live short. Chris is gonna be hungry.
Well, thank you so much. We're so honored to have you having us here. So I appreciate it, and yeah,
Definitely. And you guys have an open invite to come back on my show, my radio shows again in the future.
okay, absolutely, we'd love to.
And we'll wrap this up. How can my audience get in touch with the both of you? And where can my audience follow you again on social media and your website, Kerri?
Okay. So my website is transcendinglotus.com. And for TikTok, it's at Transcending Lotus. Kerri Kaufmann. You can find me on Facebook. And Instagram, there's Transcending Lotus 1111. And then there's Kerri Bear 1632. I don't even know.
There's so many.
There's so much platforms, but yeah, they can find me. Transcending Lotus. That's easy. Even just website.
Right. I have a TikTok called Celebrons. It's where I just put some creative content, good energy, wisdom. So Celebrons, and main fashion page is Facebook Modest Inspiration. That's where I post most of the motivational content. And sometimes I've done some tribal photography and some of my paintings on Instagram.
Really good photos.
So we plan on doing that too. Just so
we have some things happening.
Yeah, I used to be a bit of a director of photography in the past, and back to what we were talking about, there was a lot of naysayers and like, what are you trying to do? Exotic photography? That is dark. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's exotic in its creative Afrocentric way. And so I had to emulate and make these creations by myself, directing the photographers and directing the arts. And you can see that on Celebrons. And we intend to create more just to sort of show energy, essence in photography. So I'll be bringing back my director of photography sort of skills. And yeah, we have some good stuff that are coming down the tubes. And yeah, we got a lot to offer. It's a lot of energy we need to emit here.
And I'm going to have to check out your artwork as well. And a fun fact about me is I'm left-handed, and when I was in school, I hated public speaking, and I would hide from cameras and from people. And now at 52, I've reinvented myself.
That's amazing.
I
And
love
by
it.
the way, I'm left-handed as well.
Yes, I was gonna say that. You lefties.
So that is a fun fact. There we go. We found the fun fact. I'm left-handed as well, Chris.
There you go.
And finally, your next show on TikTok is this Sunday at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
We're very
8
consistent.
p.m. EST.
All right. I'm going to wrap this up, but I want to say thank you, Priscilla and Kerri, for coming on tonight. I really appreciate it. Just give me a little bit of time, and I will send you guys a video, audio copy of our show tonight, and I will even do a 1 minute reel clip so you guys can use on your TikTok, and I'll tag you on everything as well.
Wonderful.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much, Chris.
Yeah, thank you so much, Chris. An
Thank
honor.
you so much. It was an honor, and I hope you guys have a great weekend, and we'll definitely keep in touch with you on social media and that. Thank you so much for coming on live with CDP tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye, Chris.
Bye. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed season 7, episode 42 of Live with CDP Sports Talk, brought to you by Barry Cullen Chevrolet here in Guelph, with my guests Priscilla Tor and Kerri Kaufmann. And I was really it was really great having them on, talking about Reiki and mindset and spiritual. So guys, please follow them on they're on TikTok, they're on social media, but their website again, Kerri's website is transcendinglotus.com, and you guys can follow them both on TikTok at Transcending Lotus and at Celia Bronze as well. So again, I want to say thank you to Priscilla and Kerri for coming on here as well. And before we wrap up this show, guys, on this Friday, February 23rd, I also wanted to let you know that Live with CDP Sports Talk is now on radio station CKRT Boulder City Radio in Windsor, Ontario, on Friday afternoons from 1 to 2 and on Sundays from 2 to 3 p.m. I want to say thank you to the station manager and owner, Donna Ganza, for having me on CKRT Boulder City Radio in Windsor, Ontario. Finally, guys, the next Live with CDP Sports Talk, brought to you by Barry Cullen Chevrolet here in Guelph, Tuesday, February 27th at 2:30 p.m. Eastern, 1:30 p.m. Central Time, with guest Rachel Stacy. She's a Nashville recording artist, singer, songwriter, and fiddler, and just released her latest single, Empty Glass. So if you're into music, country music, or fiddling, please check out Live with CDP Sports Talk again this Tuesday, February 27th at 2:30 Eastern, 1:30 p.m. Central Time, with Rachel Stacy, again, a Nashville recording artist, singer, songwriter, and fiddler, and again, just released her latest single, Empty Glass, her latest single, Empty Glass, and I'm really excited about having her on my show as well. Live with CDP Sports Talk is a weekly sports and entertainment talk show hosted by yours truly, Chris Pame. It is on weeknights from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern on radio station WQEE 99.1 FM, The Key, the home of Southern sports and talk, the heartbeat of Atlanta. Our radio station's website is wqeefm.radio12345.com. Live with CDP Sports Talk is live streamed on these platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Twitter /X, Twitch, LinkedIn, and now available on Instagram as well. My website to follow my work and social media sites and previous radio shows is beacons.ai/Chris D. Pame. Live with CDP Sports Talk, again, is sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall. Check out barrycullen.com for the newest selection of new and pre-owned GM vehicles, or give them a call at 519-824 0210 or email them at info@barrycollin.com. Speaking of Barry Cullen Chevrolet, guys, Discover the Winter event is going on at Barry Cullen Chevrolet. A 2024 Silverado 1500 RST pickup truck at 0.99% financing for up to 60 months. More details at barrycollin.com. And also with Barry Cullen Chevrolet right now, with a new vehicle purchase, you can get a $140 instant rebate on winter tires on a set of 4 new Bridgestone Blizzstack winter tires with a purchase or finance or lease of an eligible 2022 to 2025 vehicle as well. And Barry Cullen Chevrolet right now has a winter tire sale. If you buy a set of 4 in stock winter tires at Barry Cullen Chevrolet right now, up until February 29th, which is next Thursday, I believe Thursday, February 29th, you can save 13% on sales tax there as well. Also, you guys can check out me on TikTok. You can follow me there at Live with CDP. I post a lot of player interviews, coaches interviews, promos, and reels from Live with CDP Sports Talk on TikTok. Again, Live with CDP. StreamYard is the official live stream provider of Live with CDP Sports Talk. If you're into webinars or podcasting such as yours truly, check out StreamYard.com. They have basic free plans or professional plans like I have for up to $49 US a month. And if you're a business that does a lot of webinars or live streaming, contact the sales department at StreamYard.com as well. Live with CDP Sports Talk, the audio version is available on these platforms: iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Spotify for podcasters, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, Spotify, Castbox, LinkedIn, Pandora, and Tuned In as well. Finally, you guys can email or text Live with CDP Sports Talk at cpame19@gmail.com. Or you can text the show at 519-820-7188. If you have comments, questions, suggestions, feedback, that would be greatly appreciated as well. And before we wrap up this show, guys, I just wanted to let you know I will be at the KeyBank Center tomorrow night, Saturday night, February 24th, 7:30, for National Lacrosse League action between the 7-2 Albany Firewolves, first in the NL, taking on the number 5 seed, the Buffalo Bandits, who are 5-4 at the KeyBank Center. The defending champs are coming off a 14-12 loss last Friday night against the Halifax Thunderbirds after blowing an 8-2 lead and losing that game. So it's a huge game for Albany and Buffalo tomorrow night. I will be there as a media member, so I will be doing pictures, videos, game night stories, and some pre and post game interviews as well. And if you've never been to a game at the KeyBank Center for the Buffalo Bandits, check them out, bandits.com, or you can check out the National Lacrosse League at nll.com as well. And if you can't get down to the Bandits Albany's game tomorrow night, it will be on CW23 or ESPN Plus 20, ESPN Plus, or CW23 in Buffalo, and it'll also be on radio 1520 The Bet with play-by-play announcer John Gerkler and color analyst Steve Bermo and Dave Buchanan, who all do a great job as well. Again, I want to say thank you to my guests tonight, Priscilla Tor and Kerri Kaufmann, for coming on tonight and talking about Reiki, mindset and positive energy. And I want to say thank you to everyone watching this live streamed and also on my audio platforms. And again, Live with CDP Sports Talk is brought to you by Barry Cullen Chevrolet here in Guelph, and now on CKRT Border City Radio in Windsor, along with WQEE 99.1 FM in Noonan, Georgia. I hope everybody has a great evening, great weekend, and we'll see you here back this Tuesday, February 27th at 2:30 with my guest, Rachel Stacy. Have a great weekend, everybody, and thanks again for watching and listening to Live with CDP Sports Talk.